Okay, ladies, welcome.
Thank you, Marianne.
Everybody take yourself off mute. This is going to be a group discussion. Welcome. Michelle hasn't been on here for a while, and Nikki's starting to be a regular.
Mhm.
Welcome to bank, people. Welcome to bank. This is my code. This is my code.
And you first say all the candies.
These are the only ones I have.
I have them all over. I never leave home without them. It's like the American Express card.
It's like
And
fertilizer.
I'm new, so I'm waiting to get them because you don't want to miss out on this. You don't
No,
want to miss
absolutely
out.
not.
No, you do not want to miss out on this. This is amazing. So I'm just going to speak shortly about this. So we go in order. So Michelle is the one that came and spoke, and so did Sherry Tree,
And this and that.
company. She actually came and she spoke in Maryland, which was Jose's event, who you just heard. And she spoke on this. I signed up, and now Nikki has signed up under me. So I'm doing level 5. Michelle already is level 5, which is basically just a coach for pretty much everything bank offers. I still have to finish level 5. I just did level 4, which was so intense and so amazing. So much great information. It is unbelievable. If you ever wanted to be a psychic reader and read people, but you're not psychic feeling, this is it. Not just these, but like 70,000 other ways that we can do this.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. If you want to know about your clients, you want to know about your family, about your husband, about your kids, you want to know what to do with them. Well, actually, Michelle comments a little on that. If you
And
want,
if you want to know about yourself,
if you want to know, of course, about yourself, that's absolutely, but about anyone really, and some really cool gadgety sort of AI things that you can do on LinkedIn that I'm not going to talk about, but I am going to let Michelle start us off because she's the biggest expert here. So go for it.
Well, Dr. Marianne, first, we need to have a big congratulations to you because you just finished your level 4 certification with flying colors and she won the power scripting competition. So, huge shout out. She is awesome.
Power
And
scripting is a lot of fun, just so you know. But anyway,
it is one of my favorites.
it might be.
So, I like to have you ever said to yourself, like, I just don't understand people, or I can't believe they did that, or you went into a conversation with a prospect and you were like, yes, I can help them. And all of a sudden you're talking and it's like this glazed over look appears on the other person. It's like you're the peanuts teacher. You're like, blah, 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 blah. Right? And then next thing you know, that prospect is working with your competition, Karen, down the street. No offense, Karen. We've all been in those situations, right? Sales can be hard, relationships can be hard,
okay.
but they don't have to be. When you can figure out someone's operating system and understand why people do the things they do in the sales world, why do they buy? This unlocks the secret, the secret to why they buy, the secret to why people show up the way they do, the secret to why people show up the way they do when they're stressed out. And it gives you everything you need so you can have less stress, less conflict, more harmony, right?
That's right.
And big bonus, you
Why
can
they're
close
always in debt.
you can close deals in half the time
Oh.
and get more yeses.
Yep,
So I just want everybody to imagine, what would life look like if they had the power to understand why people buy? What would their business look like? I've been in sales forever, since I was a child, I swear.
I've been longer because I'm older than she is.
Yeah,
So
exactly, right? And so people get sometimes thrown into sales like me, and I hated it, but I did it, and I did better than most because I figured out a few things. I didn't know what I figured out, right? Did you know what you figured out? Like you were just like, well, I mean, I'm getting some yeses, I'm doing better than most, so I must be doing pretty good.
Mhm.
And I used to say, I'm good with people.
Mhm.
Huh, little did I know. When I got introduced to Sherry, I had just blown $180,000 deal that I needed more than air itself. And I blew it in seconds.
Mhm.
I had no money. I was living on credit cards, literally charging, getting cash advances for payroll to pay the people in my company. And I needed this deal, right? I meet this woman. I welcome her in. I'm like, come in. She hated me. Absolutely. I was like loving on her. I was like high energy, like, let's have some fun. She was asking me all these questions. I was like showing her pictures of my dog, right? There, there was quiet. Everybody hates that awkward quiet. Well, let me tell you, she didn't want the chit chat. She didn't want the fun. She didn't want the high energy. She didn't want any of it. And when she left, I was like complaining. I was like, well, I don't need her anyway, right? Meanwhile, I was like, go ahead, Marianne.
180,000 and you're in
Yeah.
debt. Her.
Oh, yeah. It was bad.
I do want to just add this section to it. For all the same reasons this lady did not like Michelle, the same reasons I liked Michelle.
Right? It's not personal, it's personality.
That's right.
Yes.
So when opposites codes come together in the sales process, it's that disconnect where all of a sudden you, in seconds, you're like, nah, I don't like this person. There's something about him. I can't put my finger on it. I just don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw Sherry speak and she started talking about the different codes, right? I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, my whole life made sense. I knew why I didn't belong in my family. Like I knew about the two failed marriages, why they didn't work out, like why I couldn't communicate with my son, why I blew the $180,000 deal. And wow, like it's so simple, right? There's 4 codes, but they show up 24 different ways, which is why sales looks like a numbers game. So some people may be sitting out there and they're like, what are those cards? What is bank? What does this even mean? How is this helpful? So here, let's give them a rundown, right? Bank is a reverse engineered personality science. Bank is an acronym for the 4 personality types. This is not based in psychology, people. It doesn't matter if you're an introvert or an extrovert. That's not going to tell you why somebody buys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an introvert. Would you guess that? But if I take an assessment, it's going to tell you that. So, what is bank? We have your blueprint. Blueprint, think of them inside the box. They value things like structure, stability, system, planning. Rules are meant to be, if you say followed, that's this card right here. They want the agenda, right? Marianne's like, no, forget it, blueprint. Yeah, like I chucked this card. I was like, blueprint, I don't need that in my life. You do, but I didn't think so. Because why? Because then there's the actions. They blew up the freaking box. There's rocket ships flying out of it. They want fun and freedom and flexibility and spontaneity and action. They go 100 miles an hour. Complete polar opposite from the inside the box. They're like, don't put me in a box. I'll fight my way out.
Yeah, I don't know where the box is.
No.
It might be somewhere, but I don't know where to.
Yeah.
It's in the garbage, right?
And it doesn't come with enough instructions.
I never look at the instructions ever.
There's instructions?
Never. No, just wing it. We'll be fine. Nurture. They recycled the box. Sweet like honey, sunshine, rainbows. They want teamwork and authenticity, personal growth. They just want to make the world a better place.
I love
Yeah,
I love that. But I'm going
right,
to tell you something. When I'm teaching meditation, I'm here because
right.
I'm doing what Michelle's saying right now. But when I'm negotiating for real estate, I'm right here. Don't mess with me too much because I don't
Well,
have any kind of tolerance or patience.
yep. And I'm so glad you said that because the entire code matters, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then the last is knowledge. They're like, without me, you wouldn't have a box. I engineered it.
Right. I am.
Science, data, research, logic, it has to make sense. They're going to ask you a ton of questions, provide you a lot of information. So every single human is made up of all four of these codes. And each one speaks in a completely different language. You've heard marketers say, speak the language of your audience. That's fantastic advice. But how do you do that? Right? Every person has a bank code. If you know their code, then you can speak their language.
So true. It's so true. I was just recently talking to a client that was this probably first, and he was so specific. He's like, oh, just email me all the details. And I'm like, I don't have any details for you yet. It's not, this is who you're going to go to for some details, because you have to talk to the property management company and you have to do this and you have to do that, and they have to release you from, because there's this particular property has an exceptional system to it. And he's like, oh, well, just tell me what I'm supposed to do. I'm like, I can't, because I don't know what they want you to do. So I'm going to refer you to this person and she will tell you. And then when you're ready for me, tell me now you're done with them. And then I will tell you what you and I will be doing. And, once upon a time, I would have thought, oh, what part of that didn't you understand? Like, I don't understand. Are you listening to me? And I would walk away offended thinking, oh my gosh, he didn't even listen to me, or she didn't, and, and I was totally, no, this is his personality. This is the way he's gonna, this is what he needs. He needs an outline, he needs a step-by-step program. And I have another friend that used to, two of them actually used to drive me crazy with all the questions. I would give them 20 answers, and then they would go home and say, okay, good, now I have enough information to do my own research. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? What are you talking about? And now I just, yeah, no, that's what they're going to do. And they come in handy when I'm traveling. This friend of mine takes care of everything. All the details are done. I call him my travel agent. And I'm like, I love you. You find, then you appreciate them for who they are. And it's just like, and the other day we were in class and I was like, usually I don't know what to do with these two. But now, after being only in the program for 2 months, I've actually learned how to speak to them a little bit, 2.5 months now, I guess. And the other day we were in an exercise and they said, okay, you're going to go into breakout rooms. This is what you're going to do. And I'm going, oh my gosh, I hope I have a B or a K in my room.
Yeah.
Like, that's where I went from, oh my God, I don't know what to do with them. I don't understand them. It's like they're speaking German to me and I'm not German, and I don't know what to do with you because I don't want to offend you. I don't want to go around offending anyone, but I don't know how to make you happy. I don't know what to do with you. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Sorry.
And I found on the recent workshop just learning so much about each of those different ones that I always thought, okay, I send all my messages out. Hey, how are you? I'm a nurturer. But you know what? It doesn't make me inauthentic if I address the person in their code. I always thought I'm just being authentic. Well, a blueprint will pick that up and go, okay, hey, you two, up the door, because they want the respect. And I get to just understand them and respect them by meeting them where they're at. Doesn't mean I'm being inauthentic, but I'm valuing them and their code. And that was the greatest thing I learned on that workshop, which, by the way, I thought, I'm only going to manage to be on there for an hour. I ended up after my first hour and a half on there, shuffling everything else around because the power and the learning behind this. Yes, the bank code is simple, but there is so much power in the learning behind it that I'm super excited. So I thank you guys all for getting me there. But I learned about my personal relationships. I learned about my marriage. I learned about my business relationships just by having a little bit of understanding of each of those letters.
And
Yeah.
we're on the workshop, I just want to say we have another one coming up. Well, put it this way, they've never offered one for free. This was the first one. And they have offered a second one for free. It's August 28, 29, 30th. And come to either any of the three of us, whoever you are connected to, and we'll give you the details. Free, my favorite. It's in everyone's budget.
Yes, and it's being taught by Sherry Tree, the founder and creator herself, the expert. She is one of the top sales trainers, experts in the world. So I would not miss this opportunity. It's an opportunity of a lifetime. And Nikki, go ahead.
I just want to add to what you were saying there. You know, a lot of people hear about different things, but to me, somebody who is a huge communicator, Les Brown, has had such good things to say about this. And that adds to the credibility. If you're thinking, what is all this? I don't know these three ladies. If you don't know who Les Brown is, go and look him up. If you don't know who Sherry Tree is, go and look them up. Or just come to the darn workshop.
If you don't know who any of these people are, come for sure, because you need to know who they are. And if you have a business of any sort, and if you have a relationship of any sort, if you're a mother, father, wife, husband, child.
Basically, if you're human.
Basically, if you're still breathing, come to the event. It's free.
You know, well, and that's the whole thing. Like, I mean, without me finding Sherry and Bank, I wouldn't have a relationship with my son. I did it wrong for 18 years. And I thought I knew everything about him. People can do so much better, but they have to learn about mastering understanding of people. Nikki mentioned like having respect enough for them to speak their code. It's like speaking different languages. So if you went to another country, would you learn the language of the people, or would you just try to talk really loud and slow for people to try to understand what you're saying?
Sorry. I couldn't help that one. That's a good one. But it's so true. That's exactly what it is. You know, every time Sherry comes on to do a session, I think to myself, if people took the time to understand their kids more, I'm glad you're talking about your child right now, you know, and all of that, we wouldn't have so many suicides.
Yeah.
You know, they would feel understood. They would feel respected enough. And you can sit down and talk to people and you understand what they mean. But when someone is the black sheep of the family, I mean, it's all great if that person is super confident and has had, you know, a perfect life, and, you know, many lifetimes ago, everything was perfect and they don't need to fix anything about their emotional state. And they're the black sheep. They're probably gonna, you know, go forth and prosper in every possible way. But most of us are not like that, right? Most of us are not, you know, born with a Ferrari in our, what's the silver spoon? I'm going to go with a Ferrari, but you can't say mouse. So I got to, you know, the steering wheel, behind the steering wheel of a Ferrari. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up now. But, you know, and that child, if he doesn't understand, can you imagine if you come, you know, you're in a family of 5 or 6 kids and you're completely different, and everyone is this. Everyone is this, they're partying all the time, and you're this, and all you want is quiet, and they think you're weird, and you think they're weird, but you don't know how to tell them. So nobody knows how to speak to each other because this one's speaking German, this one's speaking Chinese, and nobody understands anybody. And, you know, and who knows what other additional reasons, but if you understood each other, and I'm not talking about just kids anymore, now I'm talking about everybody, but it just seems to me that in the last I don't know, 10 to 12, 20 years, we've had an unbelievable amount of suicides. Like I remember growing up with all kinds of insecurities. My goodness, suicide was never a thought in my head. That just wasn't like, oh, I wish I die. Like that wasn't anything. That didn't come anywhere close to me. So something's going on that there's, more and more and more. So yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
there's
think that, sorry, sorry,
no, go
Michelle.
ahead, Nikki.
I think that so often people think, I don't have time to study somebody else or to read a book to understand somebody else. And I'm sure Michelle's going to address this, because to know what somebody else's code is, are you ready to sit down and get into it? Because it takes how long, Michelle? To read somebody's code, to get for them to get their code, 90 seconds or less.
Less than
Obviously, you can look into it in more detail. You don't have to sit down and do 60 hours of study of reading a book just to understand the other person. You can start by just knowing their code, and it's quick and it's free and it's timeless. It's, untime restrained. And for me, that's been so powerful, because we all value time and we all get to value one another more.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely. The most important thing we have is our relationships, our family, our faith. But understanding other humans and being able to connect, not judge and love on people. People are too quick to judge people based on that first, I don't like what they're wearing. I don't like what they're driving. I don't like how they show up. I don't like their tone. We're all different, but we can all live in harmony together if we can understand what values everyone has. That's the magic.
I love myself, but man, if I had to live on this earth with only me's, are you kidding? Like, come on. In reality, I love myself, but not that much. Like that I would only want to be with me's.
Well, absolutely. And when we look at relationships, like opposites attract too, until they don't, and then they attack, right? So me and John are complete opposites.
Yeah.
So pre-bank, like when he would go and look for a car, he would spend days, months comparing prices, looking on the website. If it didn't have a discount, he didn't even entertain it. Then we would go to the dealership, and then we would wander around aimlessly, looking at the cars, looking at did it have a tag on the window? It would have drove me nuts. Now I know it's just his blueprint. Like he wants to get a deal. He has a number in his mind. He has a budget he wants to spend. So, it gives me that patience to be like, I get it. I understand. And now we laugh about it. And he laughs about when I just wake up one day and go buy a new car and then send him a picture.
And so funny. And me and my dad were like this my whole life. And now that I've started this, I'm thinking, oh, hands down, he's a B. He's a perfectionist. His work is impeccable, but it takes forever. And he was that person. On average, just think about this. It took him 6 months to find a car. So a house, which is, that would take like a year or two. And so I come along with my A game, and I already know which car I want. I come to the lot and I'm like, yeah, I don't see it here anywhere. Let's go to the next one. It's not here. What is it? It's got to be. I distinctly remember being this at age, I think 19 I was going to college and I needed a car, and that was when I actually had to have my own. And I'm like, it has to be silver. It has to have a black leather interior. It has to be standard. It can't be automatic. It has to have a T-roof or a sunroof of some sort. I'm not picky whether it's T-roof or sunroof. Oh, how nice of me. And it has to be a Mustang. They weren't making any more with the black interior. It was all cloth and it was gray and I don't know, whatever. And he kept offering me a brand new one because I had this much money, and then he tacked on some more. So it doesn't matter because I was going to spend all of mine anyway, so it didn't matter to me. And he says, "Are you sure you don't want a brand new one?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't like these. No, it has to be." And I would regurgitate everything all over again. And we couldn't find anything. And 3 days before school started, at the end of summer, he calls me. I was at work and we were just about to close. And he goes, "Can you come with me? We got to go look at this car. It's gray. It's standard. He goes, it's got black leather interior. It's got a red stripe, the T-roof or whatever, whatever it was." And he goes, "It's 2 years old." And I go, "Yeah, I don't care if it's 5 years old." Like, that's how ridiculous I, can get. But yeah, but
Well,
I want that. Yep, buy it.
I had a beautiful silver Mustang, black interior. It was a Boss, it had side pipe. Oh, you would have loved it. It was beautiful.
I love mine. So mine had a red stripe, a little one, a nice one, not a tacky one, because A's don't like tacky, they like stylish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
loud.
I go shopping for a car with my husband. I see it. I am so excited. We're ready to sign. And he wants to read every single paragraph, especially when we first got to the States. Every single, and like 2 hours later, I'm just going, "I just want to drive the thing. Just sign." No, must read it. And, we've now learned to, okay, I'll go shopping while you read it. Call me when you've finished so that my enthusiasm for the car doesn't wear off. But it's the understanding. Yeah.
Right?
Oh my God.
My father thought I was reckless, and I thought he was like, "What's wrong with you? Why are you looking for a car for 6 months? Who wastes that kind of time?" And he
Oh, I
thought I
know.
was just reckless because I didn't give it enough thought, because he always wanted to overthink it some more.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And so when I go to the dealership, like I have them have the paperwork ready. Like I don't even wait at the
That's my
dealership.
girl.
I'm like, "Listen, call me when it's done. I'll come and sign." I walk in, I'm like, they're like, "We've never seen anyone sign so fast." John's like, "Did you read that?" I'm like, "It all says the same thing. I bought a million cars. What difference does it make?"
Like,
And
what's
is
it
it
going
going
to
to
tell me,
change
that
your
it's a
mind?
bicycle and that
Is
it's
it going
not
to
really a
change your
car?
mind? Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't read contracts either. I know people don't understand how I make it through life, but I do quite well. So I don't know.
I'll tell you, with candies and bank.
That's right.
That's
Can't
right.
think.
And they're amazing candies too, I might add.
And
Yep.
you guys weren't, I don't know, Nikki, were you here when Patrick was here?
No,
Oh,
no.
yeah. So we had Patrick Tuttle here with Ben. He brought Ben. So we're partnering with the candies. And he was telling us a little bit about how he, uses the AI and whatnot for the ads, and how much better the ads are and stuff. So we're partnering with his charity where he's on the board. And so we had Ben with us from Africa, from Zambia. He was online here with us. And so people can actually buy supplements, and we're going to send them directly. We've already set Patrick up. So whoever wants to buy it, we'll go directly to Patrick. He's going to send it over there, and he's able to give people a receipt for taxes, because it's going to be a donation for the company. And I mean, you can still donate money as well. I don't want to keep people from donating, if that's what they want. But yeah, so that's kind of what we're going to do
That's awesome.
with the candies.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love it.
I like having a higher purpose. So I'm still very, very this color. Even though I'm this, I'm very this. So I like my higher purpose.
And
That's
I like that we are all four. We all have all four within us.
Mhm.
And those people watching who know me know that my K rank's very low. But now that I know that, I can improve it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We get to, I think it was Jose who was saying, we get to work on things until we can elevate to the next level in it, because you don't want to be everything of one person. So we get to just elevate. I'm so excited about bank. I can't keep quiet about it. I think my people are going, "Would you be quiet already?" And I go, "No, not until you get it."
Yeah, because once you see the power of it, I mean, it's life changing.
It really is.
It's truly life changing. And when you see that you can start to increase your numbers and optimize yourself, you're optimizing your business, you're optimizing yourself, you're optimizing your relationships. You
Mhm.
become the best version of yourself. And Dr. Marianne, I have loved being here. I do have to jump to a call.
I'm
So-
aware. I'm aware that we only had you for a short time and that you're
Yeah.
busy. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your crazy busy schedule and coming on here and helping us educate people on this. And thank you so much. I will see you later this evening, I think.
Thank you so much. And Nikki, always good seeing you. Take care.
So amazing. Yeah. So bank is just fantastic. And